Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and today I wanted to take a look at what the best cards I think will be from Whizbang's workshop coming next Tuesday on March 19th. What cards from each class and neutrals will be the absolute best of the best will all get nerfed because they're so broken, or I'll be horribly wrong like I quite often can be. So we're gonna go through all of those cards, and we still have our giveaway going on for 3 rewards tracks out of my pocket. To enter that giveaway, like and comment in the video, linked in the description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribed to the channel. Every 1,000 subs we get until what was that high-pitched sound? Until we have all the cards. Not when the expansion comes out, I will add another rewards track. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. That was painful, but you know what's not painful? Broken cards. So what do I think will be the best cards? Well, we're gonna go class by class. Best card per class, and looking at Death Knight, I do love the Headless Horseman. By the way, I do not have a million dust. I am still on the Theory Crafting account. I may have recorded this a little bit ahead of time. But yeah, the Headless Horseman, I love it. The flavor is sick. The upgraded hero power is nice, especially when you get that extra value. But I think one card just purely on power level, Rainbow Seamstress. I think Rainbow DK is going to be a real threat, especially after rotation. They're getting a bunch of buffs with a lot of cards losing runes, and Rainbow Seamstress gaining that lifesteal, that reborn, that rush is so good. You then get the 3/1 after. It's multiple corpses. It's a really solid card, and maybe even works in the hand buff stuff and it gets even better. But even without any hand buffs, it is a really solid card. And for me, it's like a no-brainer. Best pick, or the pick for the best card. But I really love Headless Horseman, and Dr. Stitch and some might have a shot. But although I was more impressed with like the amateur puppeteer than anything when I was theory crafting for Death Knight. I think Death Knight's gonna be perfectly fine. They got lots of good stuff coming, and they have a ton of good stuff already. Demon Hunter, not so much, but there is one card that is an absolute standout from the set that is really strong, and that is Umpire's Grasp, the 3-mana 3/2 weapon. Death Rattle, you draw a demon and you reduce its cost by 2. So just tutoring out, like getting a selective tutor, really solid. Maybe you're even running a card. I had this happen to me. You get the Window Shopper, and then it's 3 mana, and then you actually discover Mechtherodon, and there's not that many demons available in the Demon Hunter pool. There's like 2 neutrals. The rest are all class demons. You're likely to hit a really good demon with a card like that, and when you're tutoring it with Umpire's Grasp, or you're just drawing one of those good demons, it's really powerful. I don't think Demon Hunter's in a good spot. I think Demon Hunter is going to struggle this set, but maybe it won't, you never know. But I do think this is a really good addition to the class, and I think will be one of the better cards. For Druid, the spell damage stuff, I mean, it's gotta work. It's what Druid's like whole build around is. I'm gonna go with Sparkling File because not only is it damage that could go face or to a minion, but it's basically tempo removal. Even if you're not playing a spell damage deck, it's 3 mana, your next card costs 2 less. So it's basically a 1 mana removal. It's like an arcane shot, and that could just get better and better and more flexible with your spell damage cards. But even in theory crafting, I was really impressed by like Magical Dollhouse and all that stuff. Alonius might be the pick as well because it's what puts everything together. It's your OTK and all that, but I could see this card possibly just popping up as just a removal card in other Druid decks regardless of spell damage. So that will be my pick. Hunter's getting a ton of good cards. Jungle Gym I feel like is a possible nerf candidate if it's as good as I think it can be. RC Rampage is super strong. You can get a ridiculous board, but the card that to me just seems like auto include in like every Hunter deck, because why not, is Patchwork Pals. 2 mana, get a 2 mana Huffer, get a 2 mana Misha, get a 2 mana Leok. It's like Call of the Wild in one card for a lot cheaper, although it does net out to the same mana. You just get way more flexibility, and it just felt really strong. And you got like buzzard synergies of hand buffing. I think this is the strongest Hunter card they're getting, but they're getting a lot of good stuff to set. Beast Hunter looks really good. It's more the late game stuff that isn't looking so great. And yeah, tune in tomorrow or soon we'll take a look at the worst cards, and you're probably gonna see something like that in there. Just a bit of a spoiler. For Mage, I am not super sold on no minion Mage. It's gonna be really hard to survive. And I drafted Kagdarn Arena. It turns out he's a lot dumber and not so helpful than you would hope. I thought it would be just busted, but the amount of times he plays on Mirror Image or Arcane Missiles, rather high. For me, it's gotta be the Galactic Protection Orb, recasting all these crazy spells, whether you're playing a spell deck entirely or just playing a hybrid, a Millhouse deck, or maybe even Rainbow Mage, just to get a bunch of value in damage draw. It's really strong. It can do some ridiculous stuff, and I think this is an incredible payoff card for just playing really good spells. Paladin, they're getting a lot of good cards. There's a lot of good stuff here. To me, it comes down to two cards, though, that really stand out, and it's not even Tareem, who looks really good. Flash Sale, that looks really good. This weapon's got a shot. For me, it's between Trinket Artist, which draws an aura and a Divine Shield minion, or Tigress Plushie. But I gotta give it to Tigress Plushie. This card is ridiculous. Even without hand buffs, you're looking at 4 lifesteal, 2 divine shields out of this card. It's the Tigress Plushie sound is so adorable. The 1-mana one, the mini, it's so adorable. But once it gets going with hand buffs, it's so much healing. It could be so much damage. It is such a good card. Paladin will absolutely be loving it, but they'll also love the Trinket Artist. I think it's really solid. Priest, again, getting a lot of good stuff. I don't think it's overrated. You could put Scale Replica up there. Just drawing 2 dragons is super impactful. I've been blown away by how good Clay Matriarch feels to play. Time Winder Zarimi, getting that extra turn. More of a tempo thing, I think, for Priest, more than like an OTK. But I gotta give it to Raza. Raza the Resealed, what it can enable, basically Raza into Reno basically feels like GG. Like that just, it's going to be a GG situation like back in the day. And the implications it has with Overheal, Adonis, my pick has to be Raza. For Rogue, there's one standout. I actually think Toy Boat combined with Water Cannon is really solid, but Sonia's not. Sonia has some broken interactions. She currently, I think it's bugged. Sonia, if you play a 1-mana Sonia, it will create another Sonia when you play it, which makes absolutely no sense. But in theory crafting, that's how it's worked. I think it's a bug. It better be a bug, because other than that, you play like 1-mana Sonia, which creates a Sonia, then you just get infinite cards for like, it's just ridiculous. So, but regardless of that, Sonia's synergy, particular with Valira's gift of getting all those deadly poisons, and just, you know, the synergy just with Sandbox Scoundrel is nuts. So yeah, for me, Sonia is my easy pick. Shaman gets so many good cards, it's crazy. Pop-Up Book is a valid pick. Volcano is a valid pick. I think Sand Art Elemental is incredibly good. Getting multiple frogs per turn is actually really solid. Ironically, Shutterblock just doesn't have a lot of great synergies or Death Rattle, or sorry, Battle Cries I'm thinking of. Hagatha is really good, but I'm gonna go with Baking Soda Volcano. This is such an incredible AoE that not only can just fully remove, but fully heal you. 10 healing is so much against the aggressive decks, the board-based decks. It feels really solid, but Pop-Up Book is really solid getting those frogs. Shaman has such a good set, and I like that you could play it in like pretty much any Shaman deck. It doesn't force you into anything like the last 2 classes here. Warlock gets a lot of crap. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the cards are pretty bad, but Table Flip's nuts. This card is incredible. Handlock, I think, will be back in a big way, and Table Flip will be a big part of it. Getting like a 1-mana deal 3 or 0 mana with an audio amplifier, because it costs 1 less for each card in your hand. Super good, and for me, it's a no-doubter as the best Warlock card this set. For Warrior, it's got to be, for me, Testing Dummy. This card is just nuts. With the weapon, you proc that weapon twice, right? You deal 16 damage, and you still have a 4/8 taunt that deals 8 more damage that you can bring back with your Inventor Boom, do gross stuff. It is such a good card that, yes, cards that basically only work with it, Recommendecum, Boom Wrench, and Quality Assurance are just going to be put over the top, because I think maybe Odin combines this or it spawns its own archetype. But yeah, I think Testing Dummy is the absolute hands down best warrior card. And for neutrals, although Ziliax hasn't been as exciting as I was hoping, a lot of the options are very expensive. I still think it's a good control tool. There's a lot of options available for it, and the rest of the neutral set is really underwhelming. I'm not impressed by a lot of the cards, so I'm gonna go with Ziliax as my pick. The other standout cards that I'm looking at, honestly, like Card Raider, discovering a card from your deck's not too bad. The other one being just, you know, character artist, getting that 5 cost or more minion. But even like Whizbang's not competitive. It's rad. It's not competitive from what I could tell by my playing with it, and I just don't see anything else really popping off for neutrals. So there you go. Those are my picks for the best cards coming up from Whizbang's workshop. Tune in probably tomorrow where we'll take a look at the absolute worst cards. What are they thinking? And then they turn out to be broken. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.